In this series, we've delved into the fascinating roles played by various phyla in the deep sea, from apex predators to creatures living in the most remote ocean depths. These organisms are integral to maintaining marine biodiversity and ecosystem health. Surprisingly, some of the most vital contributions come from creatures you might least expect. Sponges, part of the phylum Porifera, which means bearing pores in Latin, are among the most primitive and successful animals in the ocean. With over 8,500 known species across marine environments, sponges can be found from the shallow intertidal zones to the deepest abyssal plains. These simple, yet highly effective organisms have survived for more than 600 million years, making them one of Earth's oldest and most resilient animals. Their roles in marine ecosystems as ecosystem engineers are vital, cycling nutrients and providing habitats for a variety of species. Despite their simple appearance, sponges contribute to marine biodiversity on a scale that's staggering, spanning over 50% of the biodiversity of coral reefs. The basic body plan of sponges is rather peculiar. There are three basic types of sponge morphology. The asconoid, cycanoids, and leuconoids are each more complex than the last. Asconoids have a vase-like structure with a central cavity. Cycanoids are similar in shape, but possess folds within the body wall that enlarge the surface area and allow the sponge to take in more food. However, leuconoids, with their interconnected system of complex canals and chambers, have the largest surface area of all. This range of body types allows sponges to occupy a few different lifestyles. This variety in body structure allows sponges to occupy a wide range of ecological niches, from shallow reefs to deep-sea environments. Each form is adapted to maximize their efficiency in nutrient cycling and energy exchange. Leuconoid sponges, for example, can filter up to 10,000 times their own volume of water per day. Certain sponges have evolved the ability to bore into rocks and other hard substrates. Cleona ciliata, a common sponge found in shallow waters, is a notable example of a boring sponge. These sponges use specialized enzymes to break down calcium carbonate and other materials, creating deep holes in coral reefs, shells, and even underwater structures like shipwrecks. The sponge's boring action can create up to 40% of the volume in some coral reefs, significantly affecting reef structure and biodiversity. On the other hand, encrusting sponges spread across large surfaces, forming dense mats that cover rocks, shells, and even other organisms. This encrusting behavior offers them protection from predators and environmental conditions, while also contributing to the habitat complexity of the ecosystem. Their tough, fibrous structure makes them difficult to remove, providing long-term stability to the communities they inhabit. Erect sponges take on a different form, growing upwards toward the water column. These sponges are more exposed than their encrusting counterparts, but they have evolved this upright growth to maximize their ability to capture nutrients. They grow in a wide variety of shapes, from simple, stalk-like structures to more elaborate branching forms. Erect sponges, such as Spongia species, can grow to heights of over 1 meter and can live for several decades, depending on environmental conditions. However, their exposure to predators like fish and sea turtles makes them more vulnerable. Despite this, erect sponges have adapted by producing a variety of defensive mechanisms, including toxins and sharp spicules, to ward off potential threats. One of the key features of sponges is their lack of organs and tissues. Instead, they are composed of specialized cells that serve distinct functions. A vital group of these cells are the sclerocytes, which are responsible for creating spicules, sharp, pointed structures made of silica or calcium carbonate. These spicules act as both a structural support for the sponge and a defense mechanism against predators. Some sponges have spicules that can be several centimeters long, depending on the species, while others have much smaller, microscopic spicules. The presence of these spicules also determines the texture of the sponge. Some sponges are soft and sponge-like to the touch, while others have a rough, almost skeletal structure. The diversity in spicule types and arrangements allows sponges to adapt to different environmental pressures, from deep-sea habitats to coral reefs. Another critical cell type in sponges is archaeocytes, which are large, amoeba-like cells that play a pivotal role in feeding and reproduction. These cells have the ability to engulf food particles, digesting them within the cell. In addition, archetypes are essential for the sponge's regenerative abilities. They can transform into other types of cells, allowing sponges to regenerate lost tissue or even grow new sponges from small fragments. This regenerative ability is remarkable. Sponges can regenerate lost tissue in as little as 24 to 48 hours, depending on the species. The most important cells in the sponge's anatomy are the choanocytes, or collar cells. These flagellated cells line the inner chambers of the sponge and are responsible for creating a flow of water through the body. This flow draws water into the sponge through tiny pores in the body wall, allowing the sponge to filter out food particles such as plankton, bacteria, and organic matter. As the flagella of the choanocytes beat, they create water currents that draw water through a network of canals. Once filtered, the water exits through an opening known as the osculum. This continuous water flow is essential for the sponge's survival, as it allows for the intake of food and oxygen while expelling waste products. A single sponge can pump anywhere from 5 to 20 liters of water per hour, depending on the species and its size. Sponges are incredibly efficient at filtering and pumping water through their bodies. They can filter up to 10,000 times their own volume in water per day. This process is vital for the health of the marine ecosystem, as it helps cycle essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon. By filtering large amounts of water, sponges make these nutrients available to other organisms, contributing to the overall productivity of the marine environment. Moreover, the water filtration process helps maintain the clarity of the water, reducing the amount of suspended particles and preventing eutrophication, a condition that can lead to dead zones in coastal areas. While corals are often seen as the primary architects of tropical reefs, sponges play a critical role in reef-building ecosystems. Sponges provide habitats for a wide variety of marine life, including fish, invertebrates, and even other sponge species. Some species of fish, for example, use sponges as nurseries, depositing their eggs inside the sponge's protective chambers. Others, like certain species of wrasse, rely on sponges for shelter and food. Sponges also contribute to the physical structure of the reef by creating large, complex, three-dimensional frameworks. These sponge reefs provide important ecological functions, such as supporting biodiversity and helping maintain the overall health of the reef. In some coral reefs, sponges contribute up to 20 to 30% of the reef's total biomass. One of the most fascinating examples of sponge relationships is the symbiosis between sponges and sponge crabs. These crabs collect pieces of sponge and use them as a form of camouflage, attaching them to their carapaces. By cutting and shaping the sponge, the crab creates a portable shelter that offers protection from predators. This symbiotic relationship benefits both the crab, which gains mobility and protection, and the sponge, which can access nutrient-rich water currents as the crab moves. In the deep sea, vast fields of white sponges create gardens on the seafloor. These gardens are primarily composed of glass sponges, which are known for their beautiful, intricate silica skeletons. These sponges are often the first organisms to colonize new, barren areas of the ocean floor, providing a foundation for the development of deep-sea communities. Deep-sea sponge gardens can cover up to 1,000 square kilometers, providing important habitats for deep-sea organisms. The sponge gardens of the deep sea are vital habitats, supporting a wide range of life. They create microhabitats for small fish, crustaceans, and other invertebrates, all of which rely on the sponge for shelter and food. These deep-sea sponges are also important for the biogeochemical cycling of nutrients, playing a crucial role in maintaining the health of the deep-sea ecosystem. In the deep sea, where food is scarce, Some sponges have evolved to become carnivorous. These sponges, such as Asbestopluma monticola, have developed a unique method of feeding. Their skeletons are covered in microscopic hooks that trap small fish and crustaceans. Once trapped, the sponge's cells grow to engulf the prey, digesting it for nutrition. This adaptation allows carnivorous sponges to thrive in environments where planktonic food is sparse. Sponges play a vital role in the process, known as benthic pelagic coupling. By feeding on plankton and other small organisms from the water column, sponges link the benthic, seafloor, and pelagic, open ocean, ecosystems. This coupling helps transfer nutrients from the surface waters down to the deep sea, supporting life at all levels of the ocean. The contribution of sponges to benthic pelagic coupling can be seen in deep sea ecosystems, where sponges recycle up to 80% of the nutrients that flow through these systems. Sponges are truly remarkable and often overlooked contributors to marine ecosystems. Their ability to filter vast amounts of water, cycle nutrients, and create complex habitats has made them essential to the health and stability of the ocean. With their ancient evolutionary roots and diverse forms, sponges continue to play a pivotal role in shaping marine biodiversity, from the shallow coastal zones to the deepest, most mysterious depths of the ocean. Their ability to adapt and thrive in virtually every marine environment underscores their incredible resilience and importance in sustaining life on Earth.